Okay folks, thanks for tuning in. Rob MaximumRD back again, this time with Collection Archive number 11. There's going to be a couple differences in this one. First of all, I'm going to show you the contents of 3 boxes. Now that's the first difference. The second difference is there's not much of a surprise. Well, as you can see with these boxes, it's clearly labeled what the content is. Well, true, I guess there could have been something else actually inside the boxes. But no, I didn't try anything like that. You know, even in the past videos where I tagged or I mentioned something in the title along the lines of ST goodies or whatever, there was still some mystery as to what was actually contained within. You may have known that they were items for the Atari ST, but what items were they specifically? Well, with these 3 boxes, as I say, no guesswork. It's pretty much what you see is what you get. And even this box here is no surprise to me because I had clearly marked it. But I'm still going to go ahead and just show you. Actually show you the items. All 3 of these were actually items that I had received fairly early on. As you saw from the 2 other boxes, they were actually items that were pretty much about the only things I have with the original box. So that's pretty cool. So let's go ahead with this, starting with this box. We have a Commodore 64, I believe it's a data set, yep, that's how it's referred to, data set right there. Commodore 64. Since being in my possession, I have yet to actually load a cassette game. I really do need to get around to trying that out at some point. It's quite yellowed, as you can see. Don't know if I'll bother doing anything with that. But yeah, I would like to load a game. I remember as long ago as it was, man, it took ages to load games off of cassette. So I should give that a try again sometime just for fun. So there's the data set unit, which I believe they were compatible with both the Commodore 64 and the VIC-20. The VIC-20 I still have yet to obtain. Yeah, I'd love to get the Mega Cart for the VIC-20, but man, you go on a waiting list, you wait several months, then when you finally get your order through, you wait several more months, and I don't know. Apparently I'm in the queue somewhere along the line, but I'm still waiting to hear back from the guy. So there's the power supply for my particular Commodore 64. It's quite heavy, this one. This is actually, it's funny because this actually seems more solid and heavy than my Amiga power supplies. Not as large, but definitely heavier and more solid. This literally is like a brick. So, often called the Commodore brick, but this one is much more like a brick than the Amiga one. And I have this model of Commodore 64. Pretty clean overall. This is the darker brownish model. I believe there was also more beige models. Still working, at least the last time I had powered it on. Cartridge ports, RF, TV select, channel switch, various other ports. It's been a long time since I've hooked them up. And then on the side, of course, your standard 9-pin, the de facto standard of joystick ports, on-off switch and power connector. The good old classic bread box model. I always like this one. Gotta have at least one of those. Really cool. I think this box is going to fall. Let's see if I can do this without dropping anything. That would be a whole different kind of video. Oh wait, and a couple other items. Let's get this back up here. Just grab this. What is that? Here we go. Commodore 64. Oh, it's the original user guide. Lisa, if I can make that out, Lisa, I think, Williams, Milo Williams, somebody Williams. Anyway, there we go. Someone wrote their name on it. And this is your basic Commodore startup guide. And another piece of paper here that was added. Fantastic Four, Human Torch, and Thing. Oh yeah, this is the the walkthrough. Oh man, I meant to play this Fantastic Four game from on the 64. Remember the last time I played it many years ago. The Thing was stuck in the mud, and I couldn't figure out how to get him out. So I had found and downloaded and printed these instructions to complete the Fantastic Four, Human Torch, and Thing game from the Quest Probe series. This is a walkthrough for that, basically. Will I ever actually do it on original hardware? Who knows? Who knows? Time flying by. So there you go. That's the original Commodore 64 style. At least one of the models, early versions. Now, how can I do this? Let me grab this little table here. Once again, well prepared in advance, as I am with all my videos. Right. But, hey, sometimes it's better just to do these things by the seat of my pants. Ad lib. It's all part of the fun, folks. So, here's one of the actual rare boxed items I have, for the most part. Condition of the box, not the greatest, but as always, this Atari 2600 compatible system distributed through Sears, this being their Telegames line of items. Really cool. I love, the original Atari artwork. Ooh, look, $10 as is. It was probably picked up at some garage sale or something. But I was quite impressed. Like, looking at the box, yeah, it was really rough, as you can see. But I remember even back then when I first received this and opened it up, I had no complaints on the actual condition. I always liked this style. Apparently this is the same as, I think it's correct me if I'm wrong, the 2800 I think it was called in Japan, which for whatever reasons really was still just a 2600. So you can see 4 joystick ports. And their attempt at a more refined, sleek, futuristic console. Red, black with some red trim, and simple push button selector switches. The Sears Video Arcade 2. Now I have this Atari type adapter. I don't know if this is the adapter that would have originally came with this model. If it would have said Atari or Sears on it, I'm not sure. Here's the other end. Pretty sure even that's a little different than your typical Atari plug. Or at least for the other original Atari Woody, Vader, and 4 and 6 switch models. And the unique controller for the Sears Video Arcade 2, which was a joystick with 2 fire buttons, and it's this weird hybrid. There's the paddle control right there. That's your paddle controlling action, which is interesting. Something like the Coleco attempts at their 2600 compatible console, but that had basically a joystick and then below it a paddle in one. But they've actually implemented it a little differently, where they've actually combined the joystick and the paddle in the exact same piece right there. It's quite interesting. I like it. I love the Sears Video Arcade. I love the look of it. I just like the design overall. I think it's pretty cool. It's one of the ones that stand out. Got your long RF cable in the bottom that just folds away with it. A/B selector switch on the bottom for difficulty and black and white color TV type switch on the bottom, and then everything else right on the top of the unit. I think it's cool looking. 2600 compatible, and one that I think I will keep in the long run. I love the look of that one, and it's also working very, very well. Okay, in the third and final box, and once again, but the last thing that I have with the actual original box, this is the Commodore 64C revision of the hardware. My understanding, there is some differences with the SID chip in this compared to the original bread bin model, as they call it. Some say they like the differences, some don't like the differences. There are definitely differences in the sound between the SID chips in both models, but I'm covered because I have both of them, so that's pretty cool. Again, really cool art. I remember the original video that I had made when I first received this. I was really excited at the time. It was my first hardware C60 excuse me, C64 hardware, and yeah, really cool. Look at the back. Now, unfortunately, I don't have. Oh, it's the same. Okay, I don't have all the contents that would have originally came with this model at all, but it is a Commodore 64C inside. Wish me luck here. I have a problem. So let me pop this open. Easier said than done. There we go. Flick those, and oh no, it's not going to work that way. There we go. Okay. So once again, the Commodore 64 brick, very heavy, very solid. This one more in matching the color of the console itself, or I should say the computer itself. So it's just like the black one, except, well, cream colored beige type coloring, and some bubble wrap in here. Now this is the best thing. The machine itself, wow, really good shape actually. Look at this one right here. Very, very nice condition. Very happy with this. You know, sometimes you look at little screws inside, you can see that they're rusted or whatever, but not so. This one looks great. I'm really happy with the condition on this one. Barely any fading or discoloration. Commodore 64 personal computer. That's, sorry, I'm in our little covered balcony / green room, so that's my own sweat on the machine right there. Sorry about that. But yeah, there we go. Similar ports like the other one I showed you. Excellent condition. So I think I would keep them both, most likely. I love both revisions. I love the original, but I like this one, which I believe was going more toward the look of their later Commodore Amiga machines, just more sleek and streamlined type thing. So that's really nice. I like it. I like it a lot. But there's a little bit more in here. Just a little bit. Let's take a peek there. Oh, one more box. A box within a box. Let's check it out. This is the last part of the puzzle, and it's a pretty darn heavy box. It's actually the heaviest thing so far. Bear with. Come on out, you. Stop fighting me. Oh boy. Yeah, hold back on the tripod remarks. I have two tripods actually. I just don't ever use them. Because that requires a whole different setup. In fact, let me just put you down over here whilst I take care of this situation. Hopefully. There. Just need a little bit of leverage, for God's sake. Alright, so hopefully this box is not in the way. And there. Whew! Man, that's what all the fuss was about. right there. That is a disk drive for the unit, the 1541-2 disk drive. A later revision of the original model, and more in keeping with the style of the Commodore 64C. Again, quite heavy, and again, I've yet to actually run this through its paces. I know it powers on. I've never actually loaded a disc with it, so hope to do that someday. Very cool. There we go. Connections at the back there. Hopefully you're seeing that okay. I hope. Alright, put that down. And of course, to go with that, another really heavy brick. And again, even smaller, but still very, very solid, and still heavier than an Amiga, a Commodore Amiga power supply. A brick which is twice the size of this, but it's more hollow and much lighter than this. Very heavy. But again, excellent condition. The 64C, the drive, everything basically, if I remember correctly, when I bought it, the person said it pretty much had been on a storage shelf in a factory for quite some time. Since it never sold, it just ended up sitting on a shelf. That's a Omega Race, by the way. That's a good game. Commodore 64 version of Omega Race, the cartridge. Really cool. And lastly, it's just the connecting cable. DIN type connectors there. Connecting up the disk drive to the Commodore 64C or the first model I showed you, whichever. And I think that's it. Yeah, that's it. No more surprises. Alrighty, so there you have it. Sorry about all the movement. But yeah, that's it. All 3 boxes and video number 11 knocked down, showing you 3 boxes at once. Thanks for watching. I'm really hot and sweaty. I think I'll turn on the air conditioning for a little bit. Alright, so Rob MaximumRD out. Thanks for watching once again from the scenic view of our enclosed balcony. Thanks for watching. Rob MaximumRD out. Talk to you later.